Hello and welcome to this next edition, session 12 of Queer and D, where a bunch of us friends all get together and we play D&D for a few hours on a Saturday night. As usual, we don't have any announcements or anything like that, except for the fact that we are going to have a session next week, and after that we'll be back to our regular upload schedule. Just with COVID and things opening up, people have other commitments, so sometimes things are going to be moved around a little bit. So we appreciate your patience. We do also have a TikTok now, so if you'd like to follow us there, it is Queer and D, ANDD. We've also got Twitter and Instagram, as usual. They are all linked underneath in the description. So we hope you all enjoy. So picking up where we started after last session, you had Ahdar Day. So after you left Rhea's warehouse, you went back to the Singing Dragon for the evening, where it was so busy that there's now a bouncer outside and a lineup of people waiting to get in. Going in, it was very hard to move about, but you went upstairs and got changed for the evening's festivities of partying, and which included drinking, dancing and flirting on Leaf's behalf. And Leaf managed to gain a companion for the evening, even if it was just to cuddle together upstairs. At breakfast the following morning, Mika decided to stay behind and sleep, while the rest of you checked out the worship service and the festivities of Ahdar Day. The service was just outside the city, and the whole royal family was in attendance. Is it vexed? So the whole royal family were in attendance. The Queen announced that now that she is of age, her heir, Princess Louisa, will now be going on a royal tour along the King's Road, accompanied by her sibling Sarah Emeth Citrus. Afterwards, balloons of colourful powder were released by Druids, and the parade started to take you all back into the city, which is now bursting at its seams with people along rooftops and along all the streets. You went past the castle, and on the balcony the royal family were watching. You headed off to grab... Oh. We'll give it a second.
Hello. Oh, I got feedback here. Oh, that was weird. Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, we're all good. So getting food, you all decided to move on to some festivities. So you decided to do a Wheel of Fortune, winning a few prizes and the go of it. You also did the Dunk a Guard booth, with Tix taking points to dunk Chief Guardsman Tamal 9 out of their 10 tries. You got a caricature of the group, as well as competing in the lottery. You also entered a stall which appeared to be selling pies, but when you entered, was actually a red tiefling in the back cleaning their nails with a dagger. She sold you a questionable potion of strength, some blue wood wine and a brown pouch which promises an interesting night out. Before retiring to the Singing Dragon, Leaf and Tix decided that it would be a brilliant idea to take some of the blue wood wine. It was extremely strong, and you were instantly drunk, with Leaf throwing up on the figure of a man who thankfully did not notice that this had happened. And you stopped by a stall which has a kenku selling nuts and berries. River got bored of the festivities and decided to look for a target to steal from, and found a family with 2 young children running around. Thinking better of it, River decided to leave it alone, and it was lucky for you all, as this was the family of Sir Emeth Citrus, and that's where we left off. But yeah, you guys were heading back to the Singing Dragon, and it was taking you about half an hour. So what would you like to do?
So what's the agenda today, everyone? Well, what time is it?
It's probably about getting close to maybe 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. But Leaf and
Oh,
Tix are
darling.
still drunk from
Oh.
the Blue Red
Day
Wine.
drinking, that's right.
Nothing wrong with day drinking,
Why don't
baby.
you do a little day drinking?
There may be Jameson cold brew in this coffee, maybe. Maybe.
All in the spirit of Ahdar Day.
Almost noon. It's fine. You're in Vegas. Time doesn't matter. Fine. Fine. There is no time in Vegas. Let's take away all the clocks.
So after half an hour walk, it does take you a very long time to get back. It normally would only take maybe 10 minutes or so, but because the streets are so jam-packed, you're having to weave your way in and out. Plus Tix and Leaf being still drunk probably does not help matters, and as it slows the rest of your day.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm entirely in control of my faculties right now. You morph into different things. You're like, no, I still have the giant hair from I did to duplicate the caricature, so I still have like
Yep.
caricature hair.
Nice.
Like the Queen album here. Yeah. Alright, so you get back to the Singing Dragon. It is not quite as busy as it was the night before, but it is still... all the tables are taken. There's nowhere for you to sit down. You do see Mika has managed to snag a little table all of her own off in the corner and is currently watching a drag show that's on the stage.
Afternoon. What time you got?
Mika!
Tix has had a little bit to drink.
What happened? What did you do?
I dunked Guardsman Tamal in the tank 9 times. It was amazing. What? Stop judging me. See your judgment.
No judgment here. Promise.
Yeah, we had quite a fun time for Ahdar Day. It was nice. But you missed it all. Are you sure you're okay? You've been sleeping quite a lot recently.
Doing great.
I'm gonna kind of look kind of suspiciously, and then I'm gonna look for a map of the town.
I kind of want to look at Mika and do insight check.
Go for it then. Roll off against each other.
At a 12.
Okay.
You got some add to
You
it
have
though.
your roll as well. We'll see what you roll.
I got a 12, but I have something to add to it. Let me open
That was 12.
Oh my god.
Okay, so add, Torin, add your insight. Mika. Let me see what yours can be.
Oh, plus 3, so it's 15 for me.
Make a persuasion for you.
For me?
No, for Mika.
Okay.
Me. Right. Sure.
So I'm really curious. How is Mika really?
That's still 12.
Okay,
I have
then, Mika.
a lovely plus 0.
So how are you really then, Mika?
A bit sleepy. Having fun here though. Doing great.
Mm-hmm.
As per usual.
I'm just concerned because, I thought maybe we should get you to a cleric. I don't know. I'm concerned about your sleeping.
Well, meanwhile, that's happening. I'm looking for a map of the town that we're in, and I'm looking for like a cleric or a pharmacy type building if there is one there.
Okay, so you already have a map of the town.
I know, but it was a wild night last night. How was I supposed to know we have a map?
So I don't know which one of you has the map at the moment.
Oh,
We don't have the town one now.
yeah, I have River has the map.
The town map.
Maybe
Had it. Hold on.
somebody has the map, and I don't know who.
Map on the map, on the map, on the map, on the map, on the map.
Look it back up for you all. I think I've still got it
I
here.
don't even know what that's from, if it's from something.
So it's I put
It's
it
from
on
Dora
Owlbear.
the Explorer.
Oh, right.
So I put it back up on Owlbear for you all, so then you can have a little look at it.
I had it. I don't know where it went.
So it's up again
Let
on
me have
Owlbear.
the map.
Yeah.
I have that map. I don't have the city map.
Mm.
Is it up on the Owlbear?
Yep, it's up there
Okay.
for
Let me just have a look.
While they're doing that, I'm gonna stealthily go up to my room.
you. Okay, make a stealth check and see if you can get by.
My stealth is real freaking high. That is a 14 with a 3.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask Torin and Mika to make just a regular perception check, and Tex and Leaf if you make a perception check with disadvantage due to your drunkenness.
Okay.
17.
14.
17.
Alright, a perception check, yeah.
Yep, with disadvantage for you, Leaf.
With disadvantage, okay.
I got 17 with disadvantage.
What did you roll for your higher one
I'm a
then?
perceptive motherfucker.
There you are.
I like trip real loudly. Dude, where are you going? I'm just gonna go do some reading. It's fine.
What?
It's
What
fine.
you thinking around about it for?
Like just like
So my first roll was a 20,
Okay.
so I need to roll it again.
Yep.
Okay.
We are onto your shit.
we're on your shit. Clock your shit, man.
And then the second was a 7.
Yeah, you have no idea where.
Okay.
where it was going. The only reason
You're the
you know
only
is
one who
because
just missed
Tex and
it.
Torin
Yeah,
kept up.
One person.
I'm too busy looking for a map, so it's fine.
I was just gonna go do some reading. Can't you take a day off, man? Come on. I feel like nobody has any fun anymore.
What you reading? What's going on? What are you working on? What's
Look, I just really need to finish this book. It's important. All right, fine.
you just give up so easily?
Dude, I don't have energy right now.
You're like, you do you.
You do you, boo boo.
Well, you know, I mean, I wouldn't have been so curious if you weren't being so sneaky about it.
I just didn't want to ruin the mood. I'm just gonna head to my room and read. It's cool.
You know, all right.
Have fun. We'll miss you. Bye. So I go up to the room and read.
Okay.
I don't want to be the warden up in here and be all up in everybody's business about why they're sneaking around or why they're falling asleep all over the place. But
I mean, you could just admit that you're the dad friend and call it.
it's my role. I'll take it.
So I'm going to do an investigation check to try and find a map.
Okay.
If that's all right. Yeah. Cool.
Just looking around the tavern, or are you investigating?
In basically in the tavern, but also like in trying to like check everyone if like their bags or anything
Okay,
if
so
they've
this
got.
is going to be, we'll do it separate checks then, okay? First one
Okay.
for in the tavern, just roll a general investigation check for me.
Okay, cool. That is a 16.
Okay. So looking around on the walls, it is quite busy, so all the tables are taken, but looking on the walls, there's still all the flags that are up because it is still Ahdar Day, so every single wall is just still taken up with flags and swaths of colourful fabric, so you don't see anything on the walls. In terms of checking everyone's packs, roll a sleight of hand check for me with disadvantage because you are still drunk.
Damn.
Okay, you're the one that decided to take the blue wood wine, not me.
True. Okay, so the first roll was a 12. And the second roll is a 19.
Okay, so 12. Okay, so Mika and Tix
Hello.
and River as well, if you've not quite made your way upstairs yet, River. The three of you all see that Leaf is just rummaging around in your packs for no apparent reason.
So what am I rolling?
And
Or
you're
do we
not
see
rolling
it?
anything, you just see it with your passive perception.
Excuse me. Hello. Are you having fun there?
Yeah, I'm just looking for a map.
What do you
Do
want
we
to
not
map?
have a map somewhere?
I'm trying to find if there's like a pharmacy or something here.
Why don't we just ask the bartender? He knows everything anyway.
True, but I thought we had a map of the town.
Probably, but who the fuck?
I mean, I'm sure we have one.
I'm sure we do too, but like, can you? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we should just ask the barman. Yo, bar person, where are you?
I mean, normally I have an excellent grasp of geography, but I got nothing right now.
So,
Is it a regular half-orc bartender guy?
so looking around, you don't actually see him at the moment.
Oh, okay, so they're not there, so we need to find this map that we have. Because we have a map, I'm sure we do. Torin, do we have a map?
I think instead of a cleric, we need a clerk. Somebody who can keep track of all our files and our things. I mean, I'm really walking around with the Bjorn and carrying Mika. I can't keep maps, too.
Oh, stop being a whiny dad.
I have my limitations. Also, dealing with drunks all day.
Just done with us.
I really hope this episode gets called the whiny dad friend because that's amazing.
No. As far as I know, somebody has a map, but it's not me. I don't know where.
Okay. I'm at this point going to go out of the tavern and see if there's someone in the street that could point me to a pharmacy.
Alright then,
The
roll.
bartender. What happened to the bartender?
She's just not there right now.
Oh, that's fun. I'm surprised no
There
one's
are
jumped
other
up.
bartenders there, it's just
I
Radiant
mean,
is not there.
let's drink.
It's just not our usual bartender.
Oh, I see.
Okay then, Leaf, if you are heading out to have a
I
little
love a
look,
coffee.
roll a... I'm going to call this a persuasion check just now because you're going outside to try and get people to tell you where stuff is while you are very drunk.
Okay.
I will be using that line quite a lot by the sounds of things.
I rolled an 18.
Woo!
Alright, so you do find that there's a couple people that are outside walking about. You ask them where the nearest cleric or pharmacist is. They point you towards Xanthia's and towards the temples for clerics.
Nice. Right, I'm going to go to the one near Xanthia's first.
Okay, so the temple down there, are you going by yourself or is anyone else going with you?
I'm going to turn back in and into the tavern and just say, look, I found a pharmacy. Oh no, wait, actually, I'm going to come in but speak to only Torin and Tix
Okay.
and say, I've been told that there's a pharmacy near Xanthia's, and I was wondering if we could try and figure out what was wrong with Mika.
Well, the pharmacy is Xanthia's.
Oh, it's Xanthia's. Okay, that's fine.
I'm coming with you. Because also, I need something to clear my head.
Okay, that's cool.
absolutely want to come along with. Should we see about bringing Mika?
Maybe we should inquire first. I got told there's two places that we could go. We could go to Xanthias or the temple of, I think it was the clerics. I think.
I mean, there's a bunch. There's multiple temples, and they all have their own clerics.
Yeah.
Let's go to
the main temple here, though.
Yeah, let's go to Xanthias first.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
fine.
So we'll just let Mika know that we're going to pop out to check the cart. Because no one's checked it on a while. So we need to go and deal with that.
So I'm gonna look across the bar and notice that Mika's already snoozing, and let's head out.
Are you snoozing at the moment, Mika, is the important question.
I love how you just made that decision for her.
I thought
I mean, I'm quite likely to be snoozing at any given point, so.
Okay, so the three of you head out towards Xanthias then. It does take you quite a little bit of time to get there just because of how busy the streets are. So maybe 30, 40 minutes till you get there. And you head over there and Xanthias is shut.
Oh, no.
Oh, because of the celebration today. Crap. Well, you know what's got to be open is the temple. Temples are open every day.
Okay, so which temple would you like to go to?
Well, what's the nearest temple?
Well, the temple that's nearest to you is, let me bring it up. I think it's the temple of Una.
Una.
Yeah, who's the goddess of law and justice. Let me double check.
Is the goddess of law, the goddess of something?
Yep, Una's goddess of law and justice. Hers is the main temple in that temple square.
Crackers.
Is there an Earth Goddess temple in this town?
Well, there's,
You
yeah.
can ask around and see where it is if you'd like to. But there is a lot of different...
The goddess of health,
Or
Is
god
it-
of health?
god of health, Zemir. Is his temple in?
You can ask around and see. Roll an investigation check.
Oh,
What add? Don't forget
oh, I
to
don't
add.
think there's much to add. Yeah, my investigation is so a total of 9.
9.
9.
Okay. So asking around, you do find out that there is a temple to Zymir that is over in the quayside area, which is over in the area where Paris's house was.
Okay. And how far out is that?
Cross the bridge and over towards it, it would probably take maybe 30 minutes on a normal day to walk over there.
So it's gonna take like 45 minutes today. Is the I don't know how to pronounce it because I'm not Scottish. So, but is the Earth Goddess temple closer by any chance?
Raltil's, yeah, her one would be closer. Hers is in Newtown, and it's a few streets over from the entrance that you originally entered the city to.
Let's go that one.
Goddess of the earth. Okay.
That's my preference.
So that's your preference. I just thought goddess of health, god of health.
Yeah, but that's gonna take a 45-minute walk, and
But then also you're dealing with gods.
right now I just want to deal with a cleric.
Okay. So let's go to it.
Okay.
Let's get it.
So walking to the temple of Raltil, it's
Well,
taking the back alleys, which are a little bit quieter. Seeing as the main street that you would normally take is all set up for the festival. Takes you maybe about 20 minutes to walk over there, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And it's a very, very small temple, so it's not this the kind of large splendorness that the temple of Una has, as Una is the main goddess of the queen.
Mm.
And heading in there, there's a few kind of priestesses that are in there. It's very quiet in the temple today, with everybody out celebrating the festival.
I'm gonna head up to one of the clerics and give an offering of some incense for the temple.
And I have enough presence of mind and respect for this that I chill my hair out. I no longer have giant short hair.
And I'm just gonna awkwardly just stand sort of like at the back, kind of looking around.
Okay, so you head in. There's two priestesses who are out in the main area. Torin, you go up to the altar and you lay down your offering of the incense. The priestesses that you see, one of them is an elderly human female who has long grey hair that's been kind of just tied back at the back of her head, kind of in a half up, half down do, and she's wearing white robes. The other one is a lot younger. She's got short cropped brown hair, and she's also wearing white robes.
Cool.
So, Leaf, did you want to do a consult or ask the priestesses about our friend?
Yeah, so hi, priestesses and priests. So, and I sort of bow while I'm doing this. We have our friend who is always asleep all the time, and we're starting to question it because it's not really normal. So we were wondering if you could help us.
Which one are you asking? Are you asking both, or are you asking just one of them?
Both.
Both, okay. So it's kind of standing a little bit behind them and getting their attention. They both turn around and look at you. They give a kind of silent nod. And the younger one moves away towards a back room, and the older one remains. Are you asking this really for a friend, or is it for you?
It's really for a friend.
It's our friend. Our traveling
If I was
companion.
asking for me, I would just ask for a little bit of a clearer head because I accidentally got into some. Yeah, I could use some help personally also, but we are also asking for a friend.
Well, it is Ahdar Day. These things happen. She kind of bows and turns back to her worship, and the younger one comes in with a smaller gentleman who appears to be a halfling. He's very, very thin and svelte, but he comes out wearing white robes as well, which look really funny on this little small halfling male. He's got kind of ear-length, curly black hair, and he's got like just a kind of satchel slung across him.
Nice.
I hear that there is someone needing help.
Yes, sir. Yes. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm very good.
Wait a second, isn't it still morning?
No, it's afternoon. It's like probably this time with all the walking about you've done, it's probably like closer to 5, so it's evening.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Good evening. Yes, we're here seeking help for a friend.
Okay.
And some help for also.
And possibly help for a hangover of sorts.
Or just I could talk a lot better about all of this if my head was a little more clear, and it's just not, and I can't seem to walk this off. It just keeps.
We're a bit of a mess. I'm sorry. We're a bit of a mess.
But we're still graceful.
You.
And as I say that, I kind of trip over my feet.
Okay, so tripping over your feet, you like kind of stumble into like a candle holder and almost drop the candle on the ground. Looking around, you do see that this is like the typical building for this area. So it's like the stone with like a Tudor outside and everything, and that's carried on into the inside. So it's like all plaster and it's all wood. So you get that.
Yeah,
That's,
my face is kind of like.
yeah. Yeah, you get that's probably a bad idea, and everybody just turns in and goes like that to try and grab it as well at the same time, and all breathe a huge sigh of relief when they notice that nothing has actually fell over. Is this friend with you?
Well, we came here without her because she was asleep, and we didn't want to like freak her out.
Okay.
We've tried discussing it with her. It seems that she feels that she's just a bit tired and that she's doing great. However, she's asleep 90% of the time. And sometimes, she's pretty good. I mean, when we're in battle, she'll just come to, spray acid, do her thing, and go back to sleep again. So it's not that she's not dependable. We're just concerned about, if she has a condition, something that can be helpful. It seems like she could enjoy life much more if she were more present.
We are concerned, but we are also suspicious.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
We are a little bit like, hypothetical beard, about the whole situation.
Yeah, like, is there some kind of curse involved? Is there some wonky magic involved?
Is it hormones?
What is it?
Well, I mean, how old even is Mika? Like, she must be about, like, don't know. I've not really studied dwarves much.
Dwarves live
I mean,
don't they?
I've had an experience with a dwarf, and it was fun, but
We'll have to hear about that later.
yeah, of course.
Let's see. Well, I mean, dwarves do live longer than dragonborn, so I'm not sure how old. I'm not really familiar with how long their lifespan is.
I always thought a dragonborn would be older than a dwarf. Wow.
I don't think our lifespan is really as long as people think it is.
Then again, dwarves do like killing dragons, so maybe that could be why.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, exactly. Womp womp.
You just see them.
But anyhow, I digress. We're just wondering: have you heard of anything that would cause something like this to happen?
Well, there could be several things. Without seeing her, I can't really tell what it would be.
But if we were to bring her here, maybe you could like give her a little once over, give her a little look see.
Or is it something? Should we take her? You could do. I mean, if not, no disrespect. Would it be beneficial? And it's always going to be disrespectful when someone says that. I know this intrinsically. So, would it be better for us to take them to the Temple of Health? I mean, would that be better suited?
This on the clerics. They're clerics.
I'm just going to go over here.
Okay.
You're a paladin, for Christ's sake.
I'm working my way through it. It's not like I'm perfect. And I mean, that's what, we're only level 4 or 5?
At this point, I then lean over to Tix and be like, "Oh man, Dad's in a grumpy mood today."
You see this little halfling?
You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go over there and I'm going to just chill out for a little bit. I'm going to take crisscross applesauce and light some incense and just chill out for a little bit and get myself centered.
Okay. You see this little halfling male is just like staring at you like, what? Who are these people that have just come in here?
So I'm gonna kind of like sit down and get a little more on his, so I can like
Okay.
look him in.
Okay.
Look at-
Before
Whoa,
this,
whoa! Isn't that like the first rule of like when you speak to a smaller person, not to lean down on them?
I'm sitting.
Oh, you're saying that's fine. That's fine. That's
I'm
fine.
not hunching over. I'm gonna sit so we can
Okay.
have
Can we
conversation.
just defend any more people in this temple?
He's meditating. Shut up and meditate.
so Tix and Leaf,
Calm down.
make a
Oh,
constitution
God.
check for me.
And
Oh God! Oh God!
Tix and Leaf, make a constitution check for me before we
oh Lord.
Okay.
do anything else.
Constitution, just a check, not a saving throw.
Yep, just a check.
13.
Constitution. Constitution check. Where are you? Ability, saved and sent. What was that? No. Constitution.
Yeah.
Saving throw.
Just a regular
No, just
check.
check.
Okay. That is a 21.
Okay. So both of you kind of feel the effects of the alcohol kind of lifting from your system. So you're
Oh,
no
thank
longer
God.
drunk, but surprisingly there's no like kind of hangover, like it's just lifted.
Oh,
Oh,
man,
thank
what a
God.
relief.
Okay. But anyway, so I am now feeling more clear-headed, which is very nice. But I'm going to sit in front of this halfling.
Mm-hmm.
Respectfully.
Respectfully.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I think we got off a little bit on the wrong foot. The effects of whatever my friend gave me earlier seem to be wearing off. So I feel like I can talk to you a little more clearly now. It would be best if we maybe see if our friend is willing to come here and talk to you about whatever it is that's going on with her. We've tried to get her to talk about it. She just seems really reluctant. She's always fine.
Yes,
And I'm always concerned about people who are always just fine.
having your friend here would be a great help in running a quick examination to see what may be affecting them.
Okay. Also, would it be okay? I haven't prayed in a while. Would it be okay if I sat at the altar for a little bit?
Of course, of course.
Awesome. So I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go just sit at the altar for a minute and take out my little bear claw necklace and just have a little quiet moment of reflection now that my head is clear and I am not a drunken idiot anymore.
Okay. So Torrin and Leaf, what are the two of you doing while Tix is having this moment to worship?
Well, I'm just now finishing a small session of some meditation,
Okay.
feeling a little bit more centered, more grounded.
I'm going to just be like sketching the building. That's what I want to be doing.
Okay. So just taking a seat and sketching away.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
River read for like an hour and a half, maybe an hour, and they got bored.
This really important book does not seem that interesting.
Well, out of the things I learned, I really wanted to go try it.
Yeah.
So, at some point, I walked back down and out into the street, and I wanted to try casting grease and seeing if someone fell on it.
Try casting what?
I love it.
I want to see if my magic works. So I go outside.
Yep.
And I look around and just kind of look at people.
Yep.
And I very discreetly cast grease.
Grease. Okay.
It's a 10 foot.
Oh, I thought you mentioned geese, and I was like, man, why are you talking about geese?
And it's 10 foot radius, and I can do it 60 feet away. I'll do it like, I don't know, still in visual distance, but not too close because I don't want them to know. And I slyly kind of
Okay.
do the thing.
All right.
Just me.
So what's the save on it? Is there a save or?
An action, 1 minute. 14, dex save.
14? Okay. I don't have stats created for this person, so let's just see what happens.
Well, if they're a commoner, they don't have any stats.
Exactly.
They don't have any pluses anyway.
So it was a 14, so they save. So coming up the road as you're kind of standing outside and just looking, you see Ridian walk up and kind of walk over the area where you've cast Grease. Kind of skids a little bit, but manages to keep his footing and continues walking on after like brushing himself off. Even though he's like not wearing a shirt, he's like wearing like a leather harness over like a bare chest. And then just continues walking towards the door of the singing dragon.
Alright.
Alright.
It works-ish.
Okay, so you've got what, 18 and a half, 19 hours left of your book then? By my calculations from the previous note?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says, I had, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
No
I think half an
worries.
hour.
Mika, are you still asleep or are you...
I've kind of woken up and seeing that everyone else is gone, I've decided to go out for a little wander and explore a little bit.
Okay.
Also, I sit there and wait to see if anyone else slips on it.
So walking outside then, Mika, you see that River's just like taking up a perch on a box that's outside the doorway of the singing dragon and is just eagerly looking like a kid, like just anxiously waiting to open up their Christmas presents, like the day before Christmas.
Hey, you're awake.
Hello.
I'm
You look
sorry.
very focused, so I think I'll leave you be for a little bit.
Just don't walk over there. You might avoid that area.
Okay. So I'll turn and go the other way.
Okay. No worries. So you've headed off for a little bit of exploration.
By the way, I wanted to put it in the direction that they would definitely be walking back from.
Okay.
Well,
So the rest of you, Tex, now that you've taken your moment of worship and Torin, you've finished your meditation, where or what would you like to do next?
The first thing I'd like to do is go up to the cleric and say, I'm so sorry. What should I address you as?
Well, by my name would typically be the best. But cleric Rain is typically how they address me here in the temple.
Okay.
So
Cleric Rain.
Rain,
Thank you.
Rayne.
Rain. Thank you very much. I think we'll head back and confer with our friend and see about bringing them here to receive some help.
Very well.
Assuming they think they need it. Yes, consent.
consent. Very important.
That it is. Happy Ahdar Day. And then he kind of bows his head and walks off towards the door that you saw him come out of originally.
Do they have anywhere like where there's like little candles set up where you can like light them, or I'm thinking like the Catholic churches have,
Right?
Yeah, there's a little area kind of over by the door as you first walk in. Now that you're walking out, you see kind of off to the side there's like just a plain table with a few candles kind of lit.
Okay. I'm gonna light one of the little candles and just do a little nod, and then we can go.
As we sort of get out of the temple, I'm gonna like turn to Torn and Tix and be like, so what if Mika doesn't want to come here like willingly?
Well, I mean,
there's only so much we can do at this point.
Because the only other option is like, this may sound a bit bad, but she is asleep a lot of the time, so we could just bring her, like.
I mean, it's true. Next time she's asleep, we could just put her in the Bjorn and
Yeah.
go to the. I mean, I would like to ask her first.
Because I
But
kind of
it
feel
doesn't
like.
hurt. I am not above putting her in the Bjorn and taking her to the temple.
I mean, we could ask her, like, oh, do you know why you sleep all the time, or something, like, we could just question it casually, just because, I mean, it is a bit odd that one of our party members is always asleep, but in battle is always
it also
awake.
feels like she doesn't think it's weird. Like we've asked her so many times about it, and she's always just like, "I'm fine. It's fine. It's whatever." And it's like, but maybe, I mean, has she just always been like this, and it is normal for her?
Like,
I think the questions. I think we should ask her questions. I think
Are they walking back at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're walking.
We're walking and talking.
yeah, I mean, I don't want to be, like, suspicious of her, because, like, we really like her. She's helped us a lot in our battles.
She's
so.
great.
I don't think there's any reason to be suspicious. I'm just really concerned for her
I don't,
well-being.
yeah, like I don't think like the sleep is an evil sleep, but
No.
I mean, if you're sleeping all the time, how can you enjoy other things in life?
it's true.
And if I have to DM, once I see them coming, I will use my last spell slot to cast Grease again.
Okay.
Waste of a slot.
Alright, so everybody make 14 dex, make a dex save. We'll see if we
Dex
make 14.
saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw.
Yep, dex saving throw. And Mika, are you on your way
Oh,
back as well?
Christ on a biscuit.
Maybe a Jeez-It.
Definitely a Jeez-It. With my +2, it's a 4.
You are not.
Yep. So you skid up, feet over, overhead, head crack on the pavement.
Oh no.
Oh no! I rolled a 19,
Okay,
so
you're fine.
I'm perfectly stable. Looking down, I offer a hand. Are you okay?
What the fuck?
I rolled an 18.
Why does Leaf seem giddy?
Why is River?
What?
Did we see
You
River?
know, I'm hidden. I am hidden. I will do a stealth check. I am hidden.
Leaf, what did you roll?
Hold on, let me roll.
Where is River?
Ha! 18 plus 11. You don't do shit.
I don't know.
What
We
was
just
it you
something
rolled,
about
Leaf?
that. Clean it up.
Ow! Ow! My ass! God damn it!
Leaf, watch out for this spot.
Watch
Oh,
out!
it's fine. It's fine. I rolled an 18. It's all good.
Ow! Lord.
Alright.
I'm gonna wander around the corner just as I see the big dramatic tumble.
Okay. Are you coming
And you
from
don't know
the
what it
same
was from,
direction,
probably.
walking behind where they were, or coming from the opposite direction?
The opposite direction.
Okay,
Yeah, I warned her already.
that's fine.
Somebody needs to put down some sawdust.
And then as they come up towards the inn, I want to like jump out and go.
Okay. Everybody make a perception check for me.
I need to do another stealth check against my.
Yep, you roll a stealth and everyone else roll a perception.
19.
19, okay.
Not
Natural 20.
20.
So that is 31.
Oh, shit.
What saving throw are we doing?
A perception.
Perception.
Perception
Okay,
check.
okay.
I 22.
See me.
Doesn't
Yeah.
fucking matter.
It doesn't really matter. You gotta beat a 30. What?
One,
Yeah, if
yeah.
there was any time to roll a natural 20, I think now would be the time.
Perception check. Right. That is an 18.
Okay. Mika, what did you roll?
17, and then I've got a +3 on
Okay,
perception.
so a dirty 20. Okay.
Yeah.
So all 4 of you jump out of your skins.
Wow! Jesus!
Let's go.
I stand up and I'm just a little frustrated, and out puffs a poof, just a tiny bit of the nostrils.
How's it going, guys?
Day into bed.
Oh man, that was not needed.
Jesus.
Why, River? Do you have
What has
anything
he done to you?
What?
Do you have anything to do with this grease spot back here?
What grease spot? Did someone?
Oh, you didn't happen to see while you were stalking us how ticks fell on the ground.
Huh? That's weird. I'm
Oh,
what? Did
yeah.
you find some bullshit?
Oh, you didn't see that at all, huh?
Okay, River, roll a perception check. Not a perception, a deception check.
Who, me?
Yep.
Can I roll
a deception?
insight?
Yep.
Yeah, can we not roll insight? Yeah.
You can all roll insight apart from Mika, who already knows.
Oh, that sucks.
Unnatural
That
20.
That's 7.
18.
21.
Okay. You all know that River is lying through her teeth right now.
Listen, you. Okay, but I'm just gonna say, good job. That was good.
But she had to make sure it worked.
But my ass hurts.
We can get you some ice.
How did you manage that? I mean, where did you get the grease from?
I produced it from my.
Oh, sweet.
Ew, we don't want to know where that's been.
Oh,
I've been learning a lot.
Good job. That was good. You got me.
So,
Also, I think you should buy me a beer because now my ass hurts.
Well, here's the other thing. I'm gonna buy everyone around because I did promise you a story.
Ooh, yes, you did. I now recall. Yes.
oh, wait a second. I love how like you're just like casually like where like I'm going to tell you a story and you haven't even asked us where we've been.
It's true. That is true. I figured.
I mean, come on, you've been in your room we've been away for how long, and then you
By
talk.
the way, I heard you as I was going upstairs asking for a map.
Yeah.
You didn't ask me,
Oh, well, it's a bit late now.
but I have the map.
But okay, so you had the map all along. All right, but I got directions anyway from a nice town person.
So where did you go?
But
and we could really use somebody in the party to be in charge of carrying those things. How about you?
I got him.
All right, cool. But I want to hear your story. Where we've been is not actually that interesting. But
Where did you guys go?
I beg to differ. I mean, we had a thing to do.
yeah, we went over to
Are you so drunk?
no, I just hit my head. You just anyway.
We just walked on their
they
ass.
literally just fell on the floor. Give them a break.
True.
We went over to the temple of the goddess of earth and nature and took a little moment.
Clerics. It was the clerics.
Talked to the clerics, got a little clarity, did a little
Digging research.
Is that
Yeah.
why you're not still inebriated?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think it was helpful. It was
Oh,
very
how much did you give them as a donation?
said a little prayer. Met a very nice halfling cleric who was very helpful.
Did you give them a donation?
Torin gave him donated some incense to the temple, and
Oh, nice.
Well,
But
I
I'm
nearly
just
destroyed the place by falling over.
With
Leaf did try to burn shit down, like usual.
Oh,
It all went fine.
I
It was-
insulted them and asked if we should go to a different temple.
oh. Should we like run?
No, it's all good. No, it's good. It's all smoothed over. They were very nice. These two assholes, I don't. No, it's all good. But honestly, I want to hear your story. Let's go find a table. I want to
I
hear.
mean, we don't have to. I mean,
No, shut up! I want to hear your
I
goddamn
want to hear your story. Yeah.
No, I want to hear the story.
All right.
We should
go
hear
up
the
to the
stories.
bartender and buy a round. How much is that?
Like a round of
Right.
chips.
Minus me, of course.
For the 4 beers, we'll call it 8 silver.
Okay.
Man.
And little peanuts.
And I hand everyone their beers.
Yeah, and then we find a nice seat by like the log fire.
Wait, what?
Which is not
Fire in this summer.
tavern, and especially in
We're
summer.
sweltering, except for me. I'm heat resistant.
All right. So, as you know, I left my home a couple of years ago to do some exploring and, have some fun. I landed in.
Can we get a bard? If you
Archmary?
get a bard to play some music while we hear
Archmary?
Larry.
I landed in Ahdar, and it's the biggest city I've ever seen. It's amazing. It's beautiful. There's so many people. And I just saw this chance to really hone my skills.
So you robbed them all.
But here's the thing. I don't like to take unless I need. So if I take, I usually give it back. It's not like I'm going to take it and just keep it. I just want to see if I can do it. And this pretty shiny thing is interesting or not. So.
Sorry.
What?
The captions really made me laugh. When I said you wanted to rob them all, it said you wanted to rub them all.
I mean, some of them maybe. Listen.
Oh, no. Don't.
Listen.
Okay,
Sorry.
Is that why you're practicing greasy fingers?
Listen. I'm already sweating. Let's just listen.
Okay.
So, maybe my second or third day, and I've kind of been hanging around the market. And then I saw her. She is an elf, pale skin, beautiful white hair. Probably the most beautiful individual I've ever seen in my life.
Rude.
Just wait. But I also saw her buying something, and it was this I don't even know what it was. That's the best part. Still don't know what it was. It was some sort of goblet. It had diamonds and rubies encrusted on it. It was very shiny. And I thought, this should be easy. It's a busy market by herself. Shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, that was a statement.
It was a problem.
Flipped my coin, and I went for it. And I got it. Pretty easy, actually. Probably because it was meant to be easy. I made it a couple blocks and quickly realized there was nobody in the street. It was kind of weird because it was a very busy day. And all of a sudden, I was surrounded by 5 or 6 people in hoods. They were gold and black, and they had a Hydra symbol on them. Comes to find out, I robbed from the wrong person. Even though my intention was to double back and steal it, it didn't really matter, or give it back. I mean, I was quickly surrounded. And I explained myself. I explained that I was going to give it back, and here you go. I didn't really need it. And she walked forward, and without actually speaking, I heard her words. And she called me a devilish cat. And I knew right away I was not in a good situation. She introduced herself as Lady Raylana. Lady Raylana. Yep, there we go. And she said that considering I still got caught, no one had ever really gotten that close before, and that I would be a big help and service to her. And I declined. And she said, well, I didn't really have an option. I soon found myself not able to move. I tried really hard, but I couldn't go anywhere. She controlled my movement, but not my brain. So I knew exactly what was happening. she took me into her abode with her other minions. Who knows, maybe some of them were under her control as well. I don't know. And for a year or so, I was made to steal. And I was made to steal things of worth and wealth, and definitely of dark magic, because some of them you could feel the evil just dripping with it.
The kind of stuff that makes you feel like you want to puke when you touch it.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I tried to escape, but I couldn't go. It was like there's a magical collar around my neck.
Yes.
Sometimes it was really good. I got fed well. I had a nice room. Unless I failed to get the thing that she wanted, in which case I was put in a dungeon with no light, in a small room, trapped. Nothing is worse than feeling trapped. I did pick up Elvish. I do know how to speak it. She would often speak to me, and I didn't know what it was until she would throw things or hit me. So I learned real quick. I also learned that whatever was holding me was magic. And a lot of the times when she would send me on raids, steal things, she would send someone who would be there to dispel magic. And I just thought if I could somehow get that, whatever was holding me away from me, because she never went, of course. She never put herself in danger. And so I thought about it. And one night, I heard screams. And it was coming from the dungeon or wherever she kept me. And I knew that I had to get out. So the next time that I went and a magic user was with me, I made sure I was ready. And when they went to cast the spell, I didn't know if it would work or not, but I, using my agility, jumped in front of it. And it worked. And I ran, and I didn't look back. And I couldn't go home because she always threatened that she knew where they lived and that she would go and find them. I didn't go home. I hopped on the nearest cart for the trade route and just took it wherever it led. I knew I was on my own for a while, but I did find a group of people who me and brought me in and showed me things and how to survive on the street and make connections. That's what I did. They went their own way, I guess, one day. Not sure really what happened to them, honestly. And then I left again. I knew being alone wasn't a good thing. But I feel like I have to tell you, because if we follow the leads with the information that I have, it's going to be dangerous. She's not someone we should mess with. If you don't want to, I totally understand. But at some point, once I've learned what I need to learn, I will go to face her.
Can I say something?
Of course.
I know exactly what it's like not to be able to go home because you're protecting people. And if you need help so that you can be free, so that you can go where you want to go, I got you.
It just might not end well.
Sometimes it doesn't. Some does. If there's a chance it's going to end better than it is now, it's risk I'm willing to take.
DM, I'm going to send you a whisper.
Okay.
Of course,
Of course. And I understand if you would like me. I mean, you all have to be in. It can't just be one. So I understand. And by no means am I ready to do that yet. But he's definitely come into our river. Odin. You're interrupting a moment. Odin.
When you're ready, when you're ready, I will fully lend whatever abilities and support I have.
Thank you.
Yeah, and at this moment, I'm gonna like put my hand on your shoulder, River, and I'm gonna just be like, yeah, like you're our family, so we're here for you.
Thank you.
And then I pipe up from the corner, me too.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry those things happened to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
No one should ever be subjected to that kind of cruelty.
You know, I try to live in the moment and know that hers is going to come, and that fuels a lot in me. Also, I like to drink. I always feel like I have to be on. It's a dangerous organization. It's called the House of Shadow. She's part of the House of Shadow. That's the word I heard a lot. There's other branches of it. I know she's from the Valerian branch. A lot of they're the who's who, and they know secrets, and they're with the money, and they also have a secret organization of assassins and things to kind of keep people in check, I guess. I don't know the ins and outs exactly.
Do you think this shadow blade that we just took care of is part of that? Or do you know? I mean, if you don't know, you don't know. Like, I know how I know how this shit works, and I know that like you don't know all the connections, but
yeah, those are the words. Those are the things I've heard. I know that it's the Hydra. That's why I'm always on the lookout. Their colors are black and gold. Not that that's not uncommon.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. The higher ups tend to be elves, obviously. And it's a really old organization, like really, and it runs deep.
Which city was this in again? Which one?
Ark Mary.
Hark Mary.
Ark. It is Ark. Hold on.
Listen,
So we are. Hold on. Where's Ark Mary? I can't find it on map. Map.
it's
So here's the map. We're somewhere over here, and it's somewhere up here.
all right.
Right? Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah, it's
This
up
is
in the
up here.
corner. Yeah,
Wait,
So
where my finger is.
How do I spell it?
It is.
It's
ARK
Yep.
MERRY.
MERY. Ark Mary. All right, got
Her
it.
name is Lady Raylana. REYLANA. And the house that she belongs to is Valerian. Plan. I don't know. PHIARLAN.
Okay, cool.
And their symbol is the Hydra.
Mm-hmm.
all right. So until we're ready to possibly pursue that further, we should avoid going into that area.
Yeah.
Easy enough to do.
Easy enough.
Our eyes open and Yeah.
And eyes and ears open. Now we know what to look for.
Yeah. And maybe someday I'll be able to go back home.
If there's any way we can make it so you can go back home, we'll do it.
We will.
I know what it's like to miss home and not be able to go back.
Yeah, we're here for
If you
you.
need any help as well, I'm here for you guys. 100% in.
Yay! And then I just hug everyone.
Well, since we're having kind of a lovey family moment,
Yes.
Mika,
Hello.
Hey.
can we? Okay,
Wait.
I just
Wait a second. What was your reaction to River's story? Like, are you not like in on the in support of this too?
Me
said-
what?
He said, yeah.
she voted yay.
The
I
shit?
did.
I didn't hear. Sorry.
You weren't listening to me.
Well, most of the time you're asleep, so I mean.
You're so meek and
Surely
nice.
that makes you listen even more when I'm awake.
Oh.
So I'm just gonna come out and ask this question, Mika, because I care about you and I'm concerned. But is the amount you sleep normal for you? Like, has your life always been mostly sleep, or like
Since my teenage years, yeah.
I noticed sharing a room with you, you sometimes seem to not have a restful sleep. Is that normal?
Yes, that's completely normal, unfortunately.
I'd like to do another insight check to see if she's telling the
Okay,
truth.
go for it.
'Cause I have shared a room with you like twice now or 3 times now. I don't know what the days are, and I definitely have noticed.
I'll get a calendar.
That is a 14.
Nope. That's a 1.
Oh, but I'm in a perception check as well, right? Yes. 13.
Insight.
Insight. Oh, insight.
Where's my insight?
16.
Mika's 100% telling the truth.
do you know why you started sleeping so much when you were a teenager? Like, I know it seems weird that we're all like, but I'm concerned. Like, it's concerning.
I had a slightly interesting adventure in my teenage years, which has haunted me slightly ever since.
We're not going to pressure you, but if you want to elaborate,
Yeah, if you want to give us a little window into your.
Did you like walk in on your parents or something?
No, nothing like that.
tell a story.
So, I don't know if any of you have brothers, but
Siblings for sure.
brothers can be interesting in that you may do truth and dare, and they give you really fun dares. So, I ended up going through this mysterious door in the forest, and it took me to a very, very shadowy place and trapped me for a little while.
Oh my.
The fact that you just said that in so nonchalantly, like,
To the shadowy place.
do you often go through mysterious doors?
Did the shadows follow you out when you finally got out?
It followed me out as in stayed in my brain and with me forever.
Can I do like a history check to see if I've heard anything like this before?
No.
Would
Can I-
this be like a medicine check or something?
Can I do a history check?
Or a arcana check?
No?
Yep, roll a history check.
Apparently want to fix the problem. Have you ever
History
been
checks,
have
okay.
you seen anyone
Have you?
17.
told what may be a cure for it
Scared
or
of doorways? I've never really heard of
10.
like what
For
happens
history.
after someone goes into one of these kind of doorways or comes out of it.
I mean, have you been? This may sound like a stupid question, but like, did you go to a cleric? Like, are you interested in getting the shadows out of your head?
It was never too much of an issue, other than having a few nightmares. So it's
But-
not that bad.
Do you not realize like you're actually asleep for like near enough the whole day and night?
I wake up when I need to.
So like, this isn't troubling to you at all? Like, you're just fine.
Tomorrow, if I read a little more, would it be okay if I cast a couple things on you to see if anything?
I mean, that would be an interesting
If you're
experiment.
confident in yourself, then go. If you might as well.
And I'm just thinking about the grease, and I'm thinking about.
I can do more than grease. I can do more.
She can do more than Greece.
A legitimate cleric would be a good place to go.
Well, I can 100%.
She can
I'm gonna try it in the morning. If it doesn't work, let's go to the cleric.
I mean,
Are you willing to go see a cleric, Mika?
We met a really nice one today who I'm sure would be happy to just, do.
clarify some things.
Get a little reading on things.
Just get
I
it.
think what's happened, love, is that you've been so accustomed to being so uncomfortable for so long and been fighting these shadows and lack of sleep that it's just become normal to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the uncomfortableness and the tiredness and the strain of it all has just become normal. And it's not normal.
We're just looking out for
Happy.
you. I mean,
Well, really,
everything's
we just
good.
want.
I would like to try something if it's okay.
I'm just going to stand back.
Okay.
I'm going to try, because I can do it as a ritual casting, identify, and if I touch a creature through the casting, you can learn if there are any spells or anything affecting it.
Okay.
Ow.
I love this plan.
Okay. Oh, can't do it. I lied because there's money attained. I need 100 gold worth. Oh no, I have 100 gold. Never mind. I'm good. 100 gold. I have 100 gold. We're good. Let's try this.
I'll even pitch in some gold if you don't want to spend all yours. I'll pitch in a little bit.
Okay, that's fine. All right. So, what do I do? Hold on. I'm just looking through my book real quick. I'm just gonna. Okay.
You don't have credit. No.
Okay. Is it okay if I put my hand on your shoulders?
Yeah.
Real quick.
Okay, so
No, I
is
can't.
this,
I can't.
is this
Guidance.
detect magic?
I'm guiding. Yeah,
Okay.
it is. So it is. Where to go? Identify.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was looking at your prepareds.
It's touch. It's casting time 11 minutes.
No
So
worries.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my lockpick
Mhm.
and I'm just kind of going to, like, between my fingers, just kind of like hold it and rub it.
You dirty. I can't say dirty dog. I have to say dirty cat.
Close my eyes and you see, again, purple smoke kind of billow from it.
Ooh.
And I sit, I'm concentrating for 11 minutes.
And then I turn to the group and go, yeah, she can do more than Greece. She can do Les Miserables and like Wicked. It was great.
I just side-eye leave.
Okay.
Okay. And I cast Identify.
Okay. So mark off 100 gold. And the spell finishes after wrapping Mika in this purple smoke that's came out of your
Like, kind of
yeah, it's like swirled all
line
around,
smoke.
and then it settles. But you don't detect anything.
Nothing.
It
There's
just
like-
seems like Mika's regular old Mika.
Well, maybe it's just because I'm new at this, but yeah, I didn't.
I feel like a cleric is a good idea. Like,
Yeah,
just to make sure that there's like nothing. Just to make sure you're okay.
I mean, I can detect evil and good. I can detect poison and disease. I can even detect magic. But I don't think that detecting any of these things is going to help.
I mean, you could do detect good and evil just to see if there's
a
anything
cleric can
around.
not only detect, but can probably help you.
Well, right. Cleric is going to have restoration spells and healing spells and.
Well, I mean, mine's supposed to
And
pick
just-
up if there's any kind of spell attached to her at all.
Right.
Yeah,
so,
but it may not be a spell. It could be,
it could just
you know,
be
it could
evil.
be possession. It could be. Not that I think you're gonna like. Not that I think there's anything wrong with you. I do not think there's anything wrong with you. You are perfect the way you are. But also, I just want you to be. It's very perplexing to me. You know, I mean, as a person who's grown up watching like sunrises and sunsets and being out and just enjoying how beautiful the world is, I hate to see it just passing you by while you sleep.
Well, I can, if you'd like, detect good and evil, and this will let me know if there is an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of myself.
I mean, that could just be helpful in general.
I mean, that's a great, just to help.
But I mean, that's not going to really. I mean, that could just be anywhere within 30 feet of it.
Rather than tell you who it is, it would show who it was, though. It wouldn't just say that it's there. Like, it
Usually
All right, well, I mean, you know, that's an option. If we want to, I can do that.
I don't know. Are there any hot Asmar in this bar? Maybe we. I'm sorry. It's been a long time.
Oh, I got to mark off a
couple days. Shut up.
Yeah.
I got making up for lost time.
Right.
for the 100. I'll do 50.
Okay, I'll take a 50. I'll pitch 50 in.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and detect good and evil and good on Mika.
Okay.
Okay. So go ahead and roll d20. Oh, fuck. 8.
You cast a spell, but with so many people round about, you're not really able to get too much of a read on anything specific.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't really. It's all quite fuzzy.
You can make it tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, Mika, you haven't said much. I've been talking a lot. Would it be okay to go to a cleric tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay. You're so easy going. You're so sweet. I hate to think of being haunted by nightmares for years.
I mean, there must be some sort of maybe a druid spell or something, but I mean, I know I'm a druid. Mika's a druid. I mean,
do you guys have any curing, dispelling?
I've got protection, protection from evil and good.
I mean, I know druids have. You guys have a lot of.
Why would anyone want protection from good?
It depends on your alignment, I suppose.
I suppose.
I need to check. Let's see. Well, I don't have. I mean, the spells I have wouldn't apply. I've not learned the evil ones per se. I've got water. The spells I know is water breathing, sleet storm, which
again could come in handy.
Yeah. I've got create food and water for us. I've got slow, which I can, make creatures slow down. I mean, I've got hold person, which means I can hold someone in place. I need to really.
Yeah,
and then
don't ever cast that on River. I think that would.
And then I've got mold earth, as well. So I can only I can transform the ground in stone, but I don't have anything for evil and detecting. I haven't learned one of those yet.
Oh my lord.
What is it, Torrid?
I just realized that I learned something new, which is called funeral rite.
Oh,
Ooh,
that sounds
intense and cool.
Yeah, it just means that I can touch a corpse, and for 7 days the target can't become undead.
That's a
any
good
means
thing.
sort of a wish spell.
Wow.
So if you die, I can hold you in stasis for a bit.
So let's just not die.
I was about to say, nobody's dying here. That is something that I'm gonna say. No one is dying. We are a team. We are a family. We don't want that.
Yeah, we don't want.
But if you want to get married, I can help with that too, apparently. So
Oh, you can do ceremony. That's great.
yeah, just contact me later.
DM, real quick, being as I was talking about everything, I'm going to do a quick scan of the room
Okay.
and just for the Hydra symbol.
Okay. For a quick scan, make a perception check.
Okay. Ah! Just exit out of my screen.
My dice just flew across like that. Literally.
Possessed.
Gosh. Whew. That was crazy.
Did Mika agree to go see a
Yes.
cleric tomorrow?
Yes.
Then we're good. I feel like
15.
15. Looking around, there's quite a lot of people in there, but you don't see any Hydra symbols. So you feel pretty good. And that is where we're going to take a wee break. So coming back from break, you've all just had a very heavy heart-to-heart session. You found out a lot about River and Mika, and you're all just still sitting around this table in the main tavern area of the Singing Dragon.
So thanks for sharing both of your stories. I'm sure maybe next time, because it's been quite a heavy one tonight. Maybe I could share my story like another time.
Love to hear it.
I'm here for anybody that needs an ear, always.
Yeah, that would be nice. Get to know each other a bit more.
More. Yeah, I feel like.
For walking into death, I feel like that's important.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for real. And I feel like I've learned that you and I have a lot in common.
I would like to hear about it for sure.
So,
I'll let the story sit, and then we'll.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we have a lot in common.
I probably should go and read before bed because I didn't get much done this afternoon.
So, what's our next agenda and what our next plans are like?
Well, after the festival, we gotta go. Are we gonna go collect our reward from the queen, or from what's her name?
Lady Asta.
Not the queen, Lady Asta.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to get. I'll get gold from every angle on this one. I don't
I
care.
also wouldn't mind going to the market tomorrow. I have a couple things I would like to unload somewhere just to sell if I can.
Yeah, I kind of want to go. I kind of want to go back to that shop called Flame. They had some awesome outfits there, and I did not have time to look at them properly when we were in there because we were in a hurry last time.
I think
And maybe now that we have a little more cash, maybe buy some potions.
Yeah.
I've got some new spells that require some items. So,
Same.
yeah.
I think we need a pearl.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, head to bed and start out early tomorrow.
That sounds good.
Okay, so just as you all down your drinks and go to stand up, you see that the stage and everywhere else around you has instantly become low lit, and there's some little sparks that come up from the stage, and onto the stage comes a drag queen who is dressed in the most fantastically colourful, glittery dress that you've seen that goes in the rainbow colour. Starting around at the top, right the way down.
Nice.
It's a we'll say it's the Orcish one again. It's the Orcish drag queen who was on a few nights previously, and a band starts playing behind her, and she goes into a performance. And after she finishes her performance, on come 3 other drag queens, all behind her. Alrighty, so this is our annual Ahdar Day drag race, where we need some Ahdar drag race.
I got a few more minutes before we gotta go to sleep.
And we need
Yeah.
a few willing participants from the audience. And they all kind of hop down, the 3 other drag queens who are with her. Let me roll a dice and see who they go to.
I, just for the record, am going to try to hide.
Okay, so a stealth check for me.
That is a 17.
Okay, so what are you hiding behind? Are you just hiding behind people, or?
Sure.
Okay.
She's hiding behind me.
We'll use this one. We'll use one of my new ones. Okay. So, Tori, you're going to be 1. No, I'm just giving out numbers just now for
One,
assigning
then
the
one.
numbers. Tix, you'll be number 2. Mika's number
Okay.
3. And Leaf will be number 4.
Whoop whoop, my lucky number.
Remember, you're pretty well hidden, so they don't see you at this stage.
I just whispered a Leaf, don't move.
Yay. I'll try not to.
4.
Dun dun dun.
Leaf, you're
Ah!
one of them grabs you by the hand and drags you up to the
I
stage.
quickly hide behind Mika.
The rest of you are just left at a table, and up come 2 other humanoids. One of them is a human male, and the third one who goes up is a Goliath male as well, who has no hair. Looks a little bit like Chief Guardsman Tamal, but there's some slight differences.
I think they're related.
Oh.
We have our participants. Now, what our fantastic queens are going to do is
Oh,
they're
no.
going to coach them. We're going to get them all prepped and ready,
What?
and we'll be back out in 10 minutes.
What? What?
So
No,
you're just
nonsense.
like off behind the red curtain with all the.
Been taken away.
I'm gonna imbue one of my stones for it to say, because I can do words,
Yep.
and it's gonna say like, "Hey guys, if I was gonna put like words on a thing, what should I say? Something like, get it, or
Leaf. Team Fig Leaf. I don't know what. Get it. Go. Get it. Get it. Get it. Go.
I'm gonna put get it, get it, leave. There, it's gonna say get it because I think I can do many words. I don't even know. Hold on. Where is my view? Oh, up to 25 words. Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm good. It's gonna say get it, leave,
All right, Leaf.
work it,
Yes.
I need one important thing from you just
and I'm just
now.
gonna kind of pop it out, and it's gonna be in purple and gold and shimmery.
I love it.
Okay, Leaf. I need
Yes.
a drag name from you.
Oh gosh.
Fig Leaf.
No.
I'm putting you on the spot here.
Oh gosh, I know.
Pussy Bandit. Do it. Do it.
Okay, yeah, Pussy Band.
Sure.
Okay. So I want you to roll, just first of all, a d6 for me.
A D6, okay.
Can I give her guidance for anything?
No, this is just to see the order.
Okay.
So 1 to 2 it will be you. 3 to
Mhm.
4 it will be the Goliath. 5 to 6 will be the human.
Okay. 6.
Okay, so the human's going first.
Yep.
Roll a d4 for me.
D4. Okay, let me get a D4. This is like after I put like all my dice away. Okay. 2.
Okay. So it will be the Goliath and you. So you'll be up
Okay.
last.
Cool.
Okay. So the drag queen comes back up, and she's like got like a little table set up off to the side now, where she's got like just a glass of some alcoholic beverage, and there's a chair behind it, and she goes and sits down behind the table. She's there's like no microphone or anything like that, 'cause obviously no electricity with being medieval times and all. But her
What?
voice
There's
projects-
no electricity? Damn.
Her voice projects in such a way that every single person in the bar, when she speaks, turns to look at her, and such is her magnetism that she has. Okay, first one up that we have this evening will be. Oh no, those are not good names. I'm trying to find some good drag names, and they're all terrible.
Oh no.
Like some of them are just they're
That's yes, that's what they are.
yeah.
Yeah. Like
Oh,
honey
no, some of
blows
them were
hard.
just- some of
Yeah,
them were,
exactly.
were just bad. Like bad. Okay, first up tonight we have Nina Hole.
Yep.
And up comes the human male. He's been dressed in this massively bright pink dress that kind of hangs
Comes
off
the
of him.
human meal. Sorry, captions again. Call
The
me.
cabin's read as the human. Here comes the human meal.
Well, probably not wrong.
The human what?
Male.
Meal.
Oh.
Male, but it sounds like meal.
Meal is in food, yes.
He's got like on this big, massive, like Dolly Parton style wig that's like kind of tilted to the side because there's no way to properly secure it within 10 minutes. And he's got like big, bright, rosy cheeks that are just completely exaggerated and like big, massive red lips. The band that's behind start playing, and he's gonna do his performance, and we'll see who wins. Oh, that rolled out of the thing. Okay. He is piss poor. Like, people are booing him and laughing at him that his performance is so bad, but he's been given 10 minutes to prepare, so it's understandable.
I say I give it a little applause. I mean, you know, effort.
He finishes off his routine and does this big, massive, exaggerated bow. He looks probably like he's had way too many drinks to have that day, so he thinks he's done fantastically. And then he heads over to go sit down in front of the stage. Next out is a Goliath, who has been dressed in this bright blue shirt that's like all billowy and frilly. It's got big, massive, billowy sleeves and tight leather pants. Not been given a wig or anything like that, but got these big, massive, exaggerated eyebrows. And he's going to do his performance now. He does a hell of a lot better. And as he finishes off his performance, the orcish drag queen goes, "Thank you, Sherry Luzon." Okay then, Leaf. It's now time for you, and they introduce. And last up this evening we have Pussy Bandit.
I'm gonna roll out
What you're
the
wearing.
ball bearing so that it like shines the big thing that says, you know, get it, leave, work it. It's beautiful.
Okay.
I feel like that could be anything.
Alright, so explain first of all what you're wearing.
So it's gonna be like almost like green, like lederhosen type outfit with because it will match my green hair. But it's gonna like be quite revealing, and I'll just have like 2 little plasters over my nips.
Okay. Roll a performance check for me.
Cool.
Try and give her an advantage.
You for guidance or with your sign?
Ooh, I can give you guidance.
So it's
I
a
gave her
guidance you have to
guidance.
touch. So you have to like go up and touch
Before
her.
she went up, there, I like.
Right. Okay. Performance. Where are you? Performance. Okay. Gosh. That is a 17.
Plus guidance.
Plus guidance.
Oh, what's
That's
guidance? What
an
dice do
extra
you roll?
D4.
A D4. Okay, 17 plus a D4. And that is a 3.
Okay, so that's a dirty 20.
Yeah.
Nice.
Woohoo!
So you get up on stage and with your party cheering you on. This is thankfully a song that you've heard being performed before. It's a song
Okay.
that you're quite used to dancing to, so you're able to put on a fantastic routine.
Yes.
And the crowd is cheering, you're like sissying that
Yeah, I'm gonna like do like a catwalk sort of walk and then just do like a slut drop.
slut
We need
drop,
to
holding
change.
the whole 9 yards. And then Nina, Hole, and Sherry Luzon come back up on stage, and the orc comes over as well, and holds up Nina Hole's arm and goes, "Alrighty, who all votes for Nina Hole?"
No.
There's just crickets in the room, apart from just like a few little coughs and from the table that they came from. You go over to the Goliath. Who's voting for Sherry Lizzen? There's a few more kind of cheers and things like that. There's a lot more volume in the room. Puts the hand back down and then goes over. Alright, what about our third contestant, Pussy Bandit? And you see behind the bar, Leaf, seeing as you're up on the stage, that Radiant instantly puts his face in his hands. Alrighty, we have our winner tonight of Pussy Bandit. And for your winnings, your drinks are on the house tonight.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Yeah, boy.
And it's the band start playing up again. You leave the stage, and the drag queen instantly goes back into doing another routine.
Yeah, I'm gonna just like jump off the stage and just like run over, not even bothering to change.
So are you running over to the group, or are you running straight to the bar?
Running over to the group, but also like sort of heading towards them, but then realizing that there's free alcohol at the bar, sort of makes a beeline straight to the bar to grab the drinks.
Exciting. Just a quick run by. Hey guys, I don't see you.
Yeah.
Radiant's
Congratulations.
already got like a kind of.
Then I've got the tray and I'm like, whoa, whoa. And then I like put it on the table and I'm like, here we go, everyone.
And
All
out
right.
off of
Good
the
job,
tray-
Ahdar. Good job.
Off of the tray, you pull like martini style glasses with like little plastic or little wooden umbrellas and like a shimmery purple liquid that's inside. When you drink it, it tastes kind of like blueberries.
Nice.
And you all down your
Cheers
drinks.
to a great performance.
Thank
I
you.
have water. But yes.
Chin chin.
And
Now I'm a hard
you all
cider.
down your drinks. And that is where we'll end for this evening.